Matthew chapter 7, verse 13, Jesus says, "You can enter God's kingdom only through the narrow gate. The highway to hell is broad, and its gate is wide for the many who choose that way. The gate to life, or the gateway to life, is narrow, and the road is difficult, and only a few will ever find it." Jesus said, if you want to have life, you got to choose this narrow door. In fact, Jesus also said, I have come that you may have life and have it to the full. He also said that whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. What does Jesus mean, or what does the Bible mean when it says you can have life in Jesus? What does that mean? See, the world defines life as happiness, a life with no worries, no suffering, a house, two cars, smoking cigars, perhaps savings in the bank, vacations, evenings, watching TV, sports, massages, hang out with your people. That is what life is. It may include, periodically coming to church, listening to a sermon, then living with no immediate action or responding to what God has said. It might involve getting high, getting drunk, I don't know, making lots of money, doing whatever you want with no restrictions. And in fact, if you're told you must come to church every weekend, you get upset because it's about you. Well, if you were to compare your life to the church, to the life of the early church, I'm going to ask you, would you say you had life? In fact, if you were to ask Peter, Andrew, Lydia, Phoebe, Stephen, all these people in the early church, these people who gave their lives for Jesus, who gave their lives so you can be where you are today, how would you say that you're living life? I think if people in the early church looked back and you were having maybe a conversation with them, they would say, I had an amazing life. I gave everything that I had. I sacrificed my very best so that people who are far from God can come near. In fact, I gave my life so that God can be known. And in fact, they would worship if they just shared their testimony with you. So what does it mean to have life? I think it means allowing God to use you for his purposes. I'm not sure whether you can live for God without some sort of sacrifice. If you want to gain your life, Jesus says you must lose it. So today I want to ask you a question. Are you living the life that God wants to live? Are you living life God's way or the world's way? It's going to have to cost you something.